I wanted to go over a few things about the wooden necktie. I think this is a really fun project, and I think it would make a great gift, you know, like a gag gift or something for the office maybe. I was trying to look at pictures of the actual wooden neckties that they sell, and I couldn't quite figure out how they were made because I don't really actually have one. So I just kind of came up with my own way that I think is pretty close to the way they do it. The main problem was going to be these little holes where the elastic cord runs through. My first thought was, I don't think that I could have, if I had cut these out of solid pieces of wood, I'm not sure if I'd be able to drill holes completely straight through there, such tiny holes in a tiny drill bit. Plus, they would all have to be in the exact same location on each one. So that's why I came up with making the groove using the two-part system. And I think there's a lot of different ways you could make those grooves. I just used a regular drill bit in my drill press, and if you're going to try that, make sure you put the drill bit as far up into the chuck as possible so it has a lot to grab onto, because if it was a long bit coming out of there, it's kind of wobbly and it might break. Also run it at the highest speed that you have so that you're sort of simulating a router. And it worked out really well. I didn't have any problems doing it that way. Of course, you could use a router if you like. If you have a small enough bit, you know, go for it. Another way that I thought about initially is I was thinking, well, maybe I would just do that on my table saw. That would give me an 1/8 inch kerf of the saw, a groove running through. The only problem with that was I needed to stop, you know, before it got to the end here, and if I just stopped the table saw there, you could do that, but then, you know, since the saw is round, you'd have kind of a you know what I'm saying, like a sloped end to that. Another way you could do it, I think, is just use a hand saw. If you were really good at a hand saw, you could probably just set up something and just cut a groove that way. Or, you know, try to set up some sort of a system where you could just use a solid piece of wood and put your drill bit all the way through it. If you're good at that, maybe that would work. I don't know. I just don't think I could do that. Another thing you might want to try is to create this taper, is just set up a little tapering jig on your table saw. I thought about doing that, but then I just thought it was just as easy to run it on the bandsaw. And I wasn't really worried about it being that critical, you know, dimension, so if it wavered a little bit, that's fine. I picked up the elastic at a craft store, or actually it was a fabric store, Joann Fabrics, and I got this kind of a thinner size. I don't know what the thickness is, but it's pretty thin. But I looked in the pictures of the ones, the ties that they sell online, and they use a thicker kind. It looks like this. That's got to be, you know, close to 1/8 of an inch thick. So I bought some of that, but I don't know, it just seemed bulky to me. It just didn't seem right. So I don't know, you have to just kind of play around with that. Plus that would require a larger hole. I'd probably have to put grooves on both pieces so that the hole would be big enough. The wood I used on this was cherry. I just had some scraps lying around, but I was thinking it would be fun to kind of play around with just laminating different types of wood together so you could actually get, you know, a striped tie. That would be kind of fun to do also.